Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are in the round of 16 for the World Cup 2021. My name is Tomas. Joining me in the booth is OMG4s. How are you doing, my dude?
Hello, I'm doing just fine. Will be hyped to see the match, to see my fellow countrymen here trying to duke it out against Norway. But yeah, otherwise I'm also very interested in the upcoming matches after this one. How are you, Tomas?
I am doing fine. It is actually my birthday today.
Ooh, happy birthday.
Thank you very much. But yeah, we have some amazing matches still to come. Obviously, the next one being, United States, Brazil. An absolutely amazing match. But this could have some interesting moments to it as well. I think Austria are just in a really bad position with seeding this year, having Germany in the first round and now having Norway in the losers bracket, the round of 16. It's a tough call for any team, but particularly Norway on these early rounds, they can be deadly. They took a few points off Australia in the first round. This is a tough team, with this pool as well. It'll be interesting to see what Austria's strategy is, I think, more than anything, against this Norway team.
Yeah, personally, knowing these players, there's definitely a bit of a mismatch, or how I should say, there's not really a four-way roster for every single skill set, which is very easy to take advantage of. And yeah, it's just clear weaknesses, which Norway can definitely abuse. Austria will probably just go for the Hard Rocks, number 2, and we'll see after that, pretty much.
Yeah, I was picking Austria to really think about that Hard Rock too. Let's have a get into the rolls, and looks like Austria's actually won the rolls, so they're going to do first pick, which is an interesting choice. Obviously, want to start this off strong. What do you think these teams are looking to ban? Particularly Norway. I'm curious about what they're going to try and isolate of Austria's picks.
To be honest, Norway is probably just going to look at what Austria performed best on and in relation to themselves, and that's probably one of the Hard Rocks. I can see either Hard Rock 1 or Hard Rock 2 being banned. I can also see number 2 potentially being banned, because you do have decent number 2 players on the Austrian side. And they ban number 1 because they just don't want to play the jump maps, which, sure, completely understandable.
It is a choke point, Nomad 1. If you're not 100% comfortable on it, it is. It can be such an easy loss if you're not 110% on a map like that. And then, of course, Nomad 3 coming in from Norway there. Oh, sorry, Austria, I do apologize.
Yeah, Nomad 3 is just if you're uncomfortable with alternating and you don't have a solid 4-way roster for alternate, you're gonna have some really bad scores on this one, and probably in the low 300 to 400k, so you just ban it out 100%.
Yeah, I think we saw Norway as well putting a very decent team score on Nomad 3 last week. What was it, like 2.6 million team score, I think, something around there.
Yeah.
And yeah, Austria just thinking, we really cannot match that. So we're not even gonna try. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they're gonna start out with this first pick. Give it a time, actually, to lock it in.
I'm trying to think. Mostly Austria is also probably gonna get skill caps. Each time the pool gets harder, and this one obviously being harder last week is not really helping that. What a surprise, we do see the number 2 being picked first. That's one of the avenues. If Austria has to win a point, this is it. I don't think it gets any better than this.
Yeah, this is their start line. If they can get off here, got that first point, maybe they can scratch away a second one somewhere, but they've really hoping for this one. But Norway will be tough on this. You know, I think back to sort of the qualifiers, the sort of players you expect to see on this. You know, GN is around. You know, sometimes we'll get him to pop in and out. Melva, Nierek, sometimes Vigel as well. But really depends who they're going to get in. Doesn't look like they're going to go with GN on this one, or maybe not. But Austria, Goose Fedora, Sparksay, pretty good duo there for a map like Nomad 2.
Yeah, and what's pretty much the toughest case for this match is that Yorkspy is really good at everything that Austria isn't good at. Same with GN. And finding 2 more players who pretty much just give supporting combos is plenty enough to beat Austria on most leading base picks, which Norway has plenty of to choose from in this pool.
Yeah, no, definitely. So there is GN. In fact, he will make an appearance. Looks like we have Nuharu for Austria having a couple of connection issues. It is a concern, isn't it?
Apparently he's also playing in a different tourney right now, so...
oh god, okay.
His connection will be slightly delayed here. That is a classic Austrian move. Pretty much. That's I don't see the Austrian culture just lacking in any shape or form from the Austrian team here. They came in here not caring, they play like they don't care, and who knows, they might get a point, they might even win the match. That's just how you go about it.
Yeah, the Austrian mindset is it's a perplexing one, to say the least. But yeah, here we go. The opening point, opening map of this this best of 9 matchup. Starting with Austria's Nomad 2.
Alright, streamy Nomad 2 here, 195 BPM, plenty of streams. Difficult throughout the entire map. Let's see how many misses we get in the first part of the map, because that's essentially how hard the entire map becomes.
Yeah, and so far Norway actually off to a slightly better start overall in accuracy. Because struggling a bit with the accuracy, but there goes Ninarik. Penguinsy with finding drops, so it is Austria's favour to start this off, although Farmist also found a drop as well, which I missed. So he's keeping things a little bit even. The accuracy is not great overall from Austria to start this off.
And the person who you would expect to hopefully see this one, Goose Fedora, already missed, which is not a good sign.
No, definitely not. The spot comes out there, there's a trade there for Pharmacist and Ninarik. So it looks like it's just in favour of Norway at the moment. There's 4 combos coming in from GN and Jusen holding strong. It's only Sparksy on the side of Austria with a support combo from Goose Fedora, who is recovering. But there goes GN, Ninarik goes as well. Jusen and Penguinsy against Sparksy and Goose Fedora. Oh, but Sparksy goes right before the halfway break.
That is tragic. Well, now you just start praying, because that's really all you have left. Because we do still see 1 FC on the side of Norway, and a pretty high combo from Penguinsy.
Yeah, and with only Goose Fedora to really combat it, there's not a lot that Austria can do here. So, like you said, just pray for that break. Seekers finding another break. Pharmacist will go as well. No supporting combos from them for the side of Austria. It's all on Goose Fedora and Sparksy. There goes Nirek, Penguin Z, GN, triple break for Norway. Josen is still holding on to that full combo. There goes Goose Fedora, the big combo, and I think we can pretty much write this one off with still just about a quarter of the map left to go. Josen finally breaks, and that's going to stop the score gain for Norway, but I don't see a way for Austria to come back into this at all, unfortunately for them.
Yeah, pretty much all combos reset. 500k advantage here on this side of Norway. That's gonna be the first point for Norway. A break point even.
Yeah, for Norway it's a fantastic start. But very tragic for Austria. It was probably one of their better maps, and I don't know if they're necessarily skill capped already, but it's not the start you want going into this first match against Norway, because they are. I imagine Norway are going to pick something very radically different. You know, probably particularly maybe something in that hidden or free mod pool, which they're just known to be very dangerous on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if Norway just flat out picks hidden 2, that's, I would essentially call it a 3 point. There are, however, interestingly enough, you do have DT2 and Nomad 5 as options on the side of Norway, because you actually have a 4 or like a 3.5 man roster, I would say, on Norway, while in Austria it's more of a 2-way / 2.5 way roster. So speed is also pretty favored towards Norway. And there we go, we see the DT2 for speed.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head on that one. DT2, very interesting little map here. Lucent's maps. I love hearing this tune. Every time that I hear this tune, there's like so many different covers and different versions of this. I love hearing it every time.
Yeah, an old classic. Well, hopefully people feel a bit of nostalgia hearing this again. It unfortunately isn't the Scorpio map set, the old one, but it is in an old style at least. So it kind of feels familiar, but it's more like the kind of Mandela effect, right? You see something, you're like, wait, isn't this different? Yeah, it is similar enough that you might mistake both of them.
Yeah, looking at this lineup on the side of Austria, you know, I've got Goose Fedora. I'm not too sure on Tomadoy in terms of DT2 or DT in general. I mean, this is the lineup they're going to go for.
Yeah, Tomadoy is not the fastest player. He's okay on DT, but he's definitely not a speed-centric player. So he's definitely one of the fill players here. People I would pay attention to on the Austrian side is mostly, I would say, Goose Fedora and Alparapa. Well, Goose already missed, so that is unlucky, but I'll just stop talking at this point. Those are maybe not the 2 people you should take a look at. Oh no.
No, it's not a great start to kick this off. A Parabel, Goose Fedora, the accuracies on the side of Austria, not great to start this off. A much stronger start coming out from Norway. Penguin Z absolutely nailing the jump from this map from Nomad 2 to this. And so another break there from El Parabel. Penguin Z will trade. Pharmacist also finding a drop as well. There's still 4 full combos to say the 1 and a bit from Austria and Goose Fedora with that early break. And he has recovered well.
Yeah, so far, the one thing that really helps is that Tomadoy is pretty comfortable with at least this level of stamina. He performed way worse on the Round of 32 DT2, which was slightly more stamina heavy. This one gives you a lot more breaks between the bursts. So that is very good, except that Goose Fedora is racking a 93% accuracy. Which makes me think that he did not warm up for speed.
No, he looks a bit out of his depth here as he struggles to get that under control. Again, the only one on the side of Norway to break, Penguinzi. Up against pretty much just Goose Fedora now, as there was that break from Tomodoi just as we went into that break section. Parabel does have a decent supporting combo. We do see a break from Melvert. With 2 full combos, they're still trading, and look at the score gap already. We're in the last quarter of the map. Really is just nothing Austria can do on this map. They just do not have the roster to compete against Norway on this.
Yeah, once you have a 1.2 million lead, you know it's kind of over 10 seconds before the map finishes. Another point for Norway. How will Austria respond? Well, I do hope they have some answers. And the only answers I can imagine to exist are gonna be Hardrock 1 and Hardrock 2 and potentially Fremont 1. But that's only if Noharu finally joined the OWC server after finishing his other tourney match. Because if that player is missing, you don't pick Hardrock.
No, it's gonna weaken your roster just that little bit more.
Which at this point, you can't afford to.
No, exactly. You can't afford to have any players missing, especially it's a losers bracket match. We'll be saying goodbye to one of these 2 teams.
Yeah, Australia having Emrek being like missing from the qualifiers lobby, they can manage. They got a bit of a lower seed, but they still managed. Austria, however, despite the names sounding quite similar, cannot afford someone like that to be missing. Unfortunately, we do not have an Austrian Emrek, but we do have Goose Fedora. And there is a Hardrock 1 pick. Now, is Noharu joining the lobby? I do hope so.
Yeah, I don't think he has. No, I don't think they have Noharu on this one. Might try and get him in, but they've only got 2 minutes to really get him in. So it's going to be a bit tight, but got Cesus in just to hold, maybe try and hold the spot if he isn't.
Alright, it will be an uphill battle, but I see potential if Goose Fedora and Tomodoi perhaps pop off. There might be potential.
Yeah, it's Tomodoi that's the bit of the unknown here. When we think back to those the qualifiers, that's who they've made the trade for. Noharu for Tomodoi. So, not the ideal situation for Austria. But maybe it will work out for them.
Yeah, Hardrock is definitely something which was the only map, Hardrock 1 was the only map that Austria would actually win over Norway, even on the qualifiers pool. So that might give you a bit of hope. Well, this is the second best chance I would say they have at a point. I think so far Austria is definitely picking their strengths. Now it's just all about execution and performing on that pick.
so here we go. The second round of picks begins. We're starting with Austria. Hard at 1. Quite a lengthy map this at 200 BPM.
Yeah, we should have most combos just building up. You will hopefully notice a bit of a BPM increase. The speed of the song increases slightly. And that's where most misses should probably happen. There will be some misses maybe around the speed up part. But usually this is the part where you should hold combo, and early miss by Marcus isn't ideal, but still doable for Norway.
Yeah, it does look like they might be holding a slight accuracy advantage at this point. As Austria just seem to be pulling it over based purely on the fact they've got 4 Cs, but Tomadoy will find a break.
Yeah, this is the first speed up we're talking about.
Yolkspie, Goose Fedora finding trades here. Pharmacist will also go. Seekers goes as well. No full combos on the side of Austria as they pretty much have a full team reset. Marcus actually recovering very well now. Nolsen finds a reset. Marcus the only one holding any form of combo, any big combo really, on the side, well, any member in the lobby at this point.
Alright, still a small combo lead for Norway, but it is pretty close. So if Marcus loses his combo and Yolkspie as well, there is a potential chance for Austria to actually get this point and come back.
Goose Fedora Pharmacist, yeah, really good support combo, but there goes Goose Fedora as I say it. And now Austria in a really bad position. Also will find another reset, but Marcus is there. He's still holding on to this. Yolkspie bringing up a nice supporting combo for his team as well. It's just Pharmacist trying to pull Sneak back for his team, but Suka's finding a break there. Tomadoy is going to try and support. There's just not a lot that they can do with these breaks coming in.
Alright, since the early miss from Marcus, you do see a pretty good combo coming in from him, and that's pretty much just increasing the lead quite a bit here. 200,000 points, which is a lot when you do not have a lot of combos.
Ooh, but there's a big break for Norway as Fiel and Marcus both find breaks. Yolkspie is the highest combo on the side of Norway, but Austria were slightly in the lead there with Pharmacist and Tomadoy with those 2 combos, but Pharmacist breaking and Tomadoy the only one with a big combo for the side of Austria. It's going to get negated by whatever Yolkspie is able to accomplish here. So that score bar is going nowhere. And they're already 200k in the lead. It's going to be tough to claw that back unless there's a full reset from Norway at this point.
Yeah, this needs a full reset and a lot of accuracy drops from Norway to lose a lot of score as well, but I think this one's in the bag for Norway for now. 200,000 points. About 15 seconds before the end. Yeah, pretty hard to beat with only 1,000 combo from Tomadoy.
Yes.
Yeah, you did see that break from Yolkspie right at the end, but it just wasn't soon enough for Austria to take advantage of it. So they will drop another break point here. And it's looking pretty dire for Austria as we go into Norway's second pick. You know, Norway's still got a massive amount of the map pool left. You mentioned, you know, they've got like those no mod 5s as well. They've still got that hidden pool as well. Norway have got quite a bit of room to play here with some of these maps, and
it is the no mod 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty predictable. Once you know that you're the faster team, you just start picking the fastest maps. You just sort the entire pool by BPM and go down the list. And this one's the second one next to DT2. Pretty much similar story, that a lot of bursting, very low spacing, so we don't really need a lot of aim for this one. Just your left hand, your right hand if you're left-handed, needs to be pretty on point. And so far, Norway has definitely shown that they are quite good at speed.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really see a situation where Austria are going to be able to pick this up. You know, and I think that's that DT2. It was over a million score. And a million score, that's like an additional player for the side of Norway. And when you're going up against that, it's really going to require an explosion from the Norway players. You know, complete breakdown of hitting this map for, I think, Austria to have a chance. But it's also going to require, you know, players like Gus Fedora and Toloi just to pop off, really set those high scores if they can.
The one saving grace is that this Nomad 5 is definitely one of the easier maps in the pool, and it's also lower BPM. So if the DT2 was barely above your skill level limit of what speed you can play, this would be way more down your alley. And I can see Austria perform a lot better. I mean, even on the DT2, I think Austria could perform a lot better. But this one just being, I would almost say, an easier version of that. Austria does have a chance, but there's also, on the other hand, meaning if it's easier, Norway can maybe just forward see this.
I love this map's background far too much. I don't know why, it's just so good to me.
Well, at that point, the well-chosen background by the mappers, it's memorable at least.
Here we go. Another speedy pick for Norway. So far, everyone else to a solid start. A Parabel finding an early break. Aside from that, good adjustments from the rest of the players. Minerik will find the first break for Norway. That's going to even things up. Well, actually give Austria a bit of an advantage in combo, but the accuracy on the side of Norway is better.
Okay, so far you do have the combo advantage on the side of Austria. Decent accuracies all around, but it's all about combo at this point.
Norway actually in a bit of a tougher position. They've got to hold on to those two full combos. Penguinzy, Melvert. Actually, Austria, they're putting in the work here. A Parabel is recovering nicely, and they're still holding on. The 3-4 FCs. Oh, there goes Pharmacist, though. That's a tough break for them.
Yeah, they had to hold the 3-4 FC to get a good chance on this one, because the accuracies on Norway are just really good. 99+% on all 4 of them. While Austria is struggling a little bit in accuracy, they do have decent combos all around, so it's not over yet.
They can catch up, but it's gonna have to come in the form of a break from Norway. Ideally, one of the full combos if Austria want to come back into this. If they drop, again, it's pretty much gonna spell disaster. There goes Melva, though. A Parabel will drop for Austria.
Oh no! That was a complete misaim of an entire burst by Penguinzy.
And it's going over. Pharmacist will drop. Big point combo, but they're still rising with Gus Fedora and Tomazoi. At the end of the map, Austria steal a point on Norway's pick. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, this map definitely a bit more towards the at least comfort zone for the Austrian players, and it shows. Tomodai and Gus Fedora finally got 2 really good scores on this one, 2 FCs. Melver obviously got really good accuracy, but the slider break, that is unfortunate. Extremely good accuracies all around from Norway, but unfortunately the combo wasn't quite there. Combo gaming wins again. Who needs accuracy?
Yeah, in the terms of combo game, accuracy is indeed a myth. But Austria, you know, they've bought themselves a bit more time. You know, they've got another pick. Maybe they can get their other Hard Rock player in, Nuharu, for this next map pick. But I still think maybe they go Hard Rock 2.
I think before you go Hard Rock 2, because I don't believe Austria actually has... It's hard to say because we also don't have too much info about Norway about the specific style of map on CS615 with Ribbon. But I don't think Austria has a very solid foreman lineup and feel comfortable. I think the next pick is probably gonna be either 3 mod 1 or they are going for no mod 4. Okay.
Yeah. Interesting.
Sure. That is gonna be potentially even the last pick of Austria here. They have to make this one count. Because after this one, it's gonna be Norway's pick. And if they lose this one, it's in Norway's ballpark.
I mean, we do have the knowledge that both Austria and Norway played No Mod 4 last week. So we have some scores to compare, and it's actually slightly in favour of Austria. They have a slight lead in terms of score on this. But it really comes down to how well certain players are going to perform on this. You know, Goose Fedora will have, you know, he's going to have to perform well on this. But they do have all of their players for their strongest lineup on No Mod 4. You know, players like Tomadoy, Farmist, and Seekus, if they're going ideally, but they're gonna, instead of Seekus, gonna put Sparksy in No Mod 4.
Which can be fine. I don't have an issue with Sparksy also playing this one. It's mostly just who's more comfortable on this style of map. And if that's Sparksy, after having a few test play lobbies in the team to find out who's the best on the map, that's completely fine. I don't see an issue with the Austrian lineup here. The question is, how well does Austria scale compared to Norway?
Yeah, can they keep up that consistency as the pool gets more and more tricky? And again, we're seeing the same lineup we saw for No Mod 4 last weekend coming out from Norway. GN, Yokespie, Marcus and Melva. Goose Fedora will find the first break. It's an early one though, it's not massively detrimental. This is a fairly long map.
I was about to say Goose Fedora is a tech map enjoyer and enthusiast, but apparently he missed pretty early.
You actually see though a double break from Melva and Marcus on the side of Norway. Sparksy did also find a break. That scorebar, it's staying very close as Goose Fedora finds another break. This is not the play you really want to see from him.
So far, the lead is actually mostly from accuracy. There are still some combos pretty much equalized, but accuracy is the reason why Norway is ahead. So far, Austria once again combo gaming. Can they keep it up until the end? It will still require a miss from Norway, I believe.
Yeah, combo's pretty much dead even at this point as we approach the halfway point of this map. Again,
the second half is slightly harder, so I would expect a lot of combos to break here.
Yeah, and as you said, Tomadoy, full combo for the side of Austria, gone now. There goes GN. Sparksy will also find a break though. Farmers is the only one holding for Austria at this point, so they have a triple reset there. Melva goes Marcus. It's Farmist against Yokespie. No support combos anywhere. It's really going to come down to the accuracy between these two, and it's pretty much identical, but it's that scorebar they've got to make back. Yokespie does find a break though. Pharmacist will hold on with the full combo so far. Quarter of the map left. He can pull this back.
This would be an insane performance by Pharmacist if he holds on here.
Doing it, the scorebar's going. He's still holding on to the full combo. He's just spacing on the jumps. Doesn't seem to be showing any issues. I think he's going to do it. Marcus is holding a bit of a combo. His teammate's breaking though isn't helping him pull the score over. He finally does right towards the end of the map, but he's got to hold on. It's not guaranteed. I think he might get the second point for his team, as Pharmacist comes in with the full combo for Austria, securing them a second point in this match against Norway. What a performance from Pharmist.
Yeah, this was all off the back of Pharmist. Insane performance by him. Definitely an FC on this map and this stage is always an achievement. And in this map, or in this match especially, when you see these two teams where you don't really expect too many FCs on the harder maps, getting an FC is pretty much a carry performance, and Pharmist did a really good job here.
Yeah, and if you look at the combos on the side of Norway, overall they are that little bit higher. But it's all on Pharmacist there. That is an impressive play. It helped.
Alright. Austria does have a little bit more breathing room, but they're gonna be at the mercy of another one of Norway's picks. Nomad 5 did backfire slightly. Probably should go for slightly harder picks. Maybe something they can abuse their reading on. Once again, I still think Hidden 2 is really favored for them. They're going for 3 mod 1, so they want to test the waters on CS 6.5. Norway is definitely gonna be okay with approach 8 maps, no doubt. They historically been one of the teams who really like the reading picks. Although with the roster they have this time around, speed is a decent avenue to use as well. But this one here, the only thing I'm slightly scared of is this 3 mod 1 is, I would say, kinda hard rock favored. So I see Austria just going 1 hidden and 3 hard rocks. And they're pretty happy with that, I would say. Happier than if they actually would go for Nomads. Because even Nomad versus hard rock, I would still say if you're really comfortable with hard rock, just go for hard rock. Nomad on the other hand, I can maybe see 2 hiddens. I don't see the reason for it though. I can just see GN going Nomad and Yoxby going hidden. And then maybe 2 hard rocks. Definitely doable.
Yeah, it definitely is. And again, we were at that point where, Norway had taken the first 3 points of this match, and we thought, Austria, they're in a really tough position. They dropped 2 break points, and now, it's that score gap is closing. I still think that they're in a bit of a tough position to close out this match, especially as we go later in the pool. How many more picks does Austria have left to win?
I mean, this is one of them. I would say Austria should be pretty okay on CS 6.5 hard rock. And they do have 1 hidden player who's not in and not playing hidden here. I think they would just put Goose Fedora or Seekers on hidden potentially. Or maybe they have a completely different setup here. Let's see.
Oh.
It's actually Nikoya. Okay, we'll go for that, sure.
Bit of an overmod from Austria. Oh, and a full mod from Norway.
2 hiddens? What?
This is interesting. Right, so we have Seekers with Hard Rock on the side of Austria, and Nokoyase and Pharmist going on hidden. Goose Fedora will bring in the Nomad for Austria, up against Nielsen and Marcus on Hard Rock. Yolkspie and GN going with hidden.
Alright, I think this is a blunder, but I mean, after the match is done, who knows, they might go for this point. So far, early on, the 2 hidden players on Austria struggling slightly on accuracy and combo. Yeah, Norway is feeling comfortable so far.
Yeah, we see another break coming for Seekers, and that's 3 combos that Austria have dropped. And Goose Fedora on the Nomad, bringing it home, and yeah, this is where Norway really shine. Their mod prowess is something to be feared on free mod. As they All four of them still holding full combos. We're approaching the halfway point of this map.
Yeah, even if Norway is potentially over-modding, it's still completely fine because Austria went for 2 hiddens. Which is a very... which I would almost say, I think definitely is a blunder, but we'll see. Misses all around, still 2 FCs from Norway.
Yeah, they've dropped a hidden and a hard rock, but they've still got one of each. Gian and Marcus. But with the break from Goose Fedora, the Nomad as well as the reset from Nikoyase, it's only Farmist with any combo on the side of Austria. And there's 800k that he has got to pull back. I don't see how Austria pull that back in a quarter of a map, especially with the break from Pharmacist, finding the reset. This one is going to go to Norway.
Yeah, so far a gigantic difference in score, and this is the 4th point and match point soon for Norway here.
I mean, did Austria just meme on this pick? Is that why they went 2 hidden?
To be completely honest, I do think so. I do not see a single reason why you would ever go 2 hiddens on this map. Unless you are Norway with Gian and Yoke Spy, which is completely understandable. Austria is not known for being a country which is really good at approach rate hidden, or generally at hidden and reading. So not taking the Nomads or the hard rock as an alternative. A bit flabbergasted. But perhaps because Nuharu is missing, who would 100% play this on hard rock. Might probably just change her strategy.
I mean, it could be that they were just approaching it from the point of, we're not going to win this pick. Let's try and use it to just calm our nerves and set up for the next pick. But again, what do they go with? Well, hidden 1. That is our answer.
Yeah, at this point, I think there's not enough comfortable players for Hard Rock 2 left, as well as Nuharu missing, which would also be completely just a Hard Rock player missing. DT1, DT3 all just seem pretty much skill gap mostly, and free mod 2 is also something I would say you just pick Hard Rock on and no mod. And Norway seems to be pretty comfortable in both mods, don't want to go for that. Hidden 1 is a decent option, it's still pretty Norway favorite, but it is a Hail Mary. This one is at least less about reading and mostly just about consistency and being comfortable in hidden here. You have jumps, you have some longer streams, mostly burst. It's all about the pattern aim here. And the last map isn't really too reminiscent of this one. The last one is way more about reading since it's approached 8. This one is more comfortably at 9.4.
Yeah, so a fairly lengthy map this. In for a long ride. Farmist will find the first break. Goose Fedora will follow up. Early breaks for Austria, not a good sign, but plenty of time to recover it. Will mean a very slightly early lead for Norway to kick this one off.
Yeah, since the map is, I think, one of the longest maps in the pool, ignoring the tiebreaker, early misses won't hurt that much, so Farmers and Goose Fedora should still be fine if they AFC for the rest of the map, which obviously is easier said than done.
It is, when you're talking about keeping consistent for this length of time. Patterns like this, it can be tricky. It's the awkward aim can always catch you out. But so far, good recovery from Austria as they maintain that score gap against Norway. All they'll need is one break and they can push back into this. Again, Norway, such a strong team. We've seen them a lot. GN, Jokspie, Marcus, and Melva. They're a strong, cool team who have, on a map like this, they're very tough. You can just tell by how comfortable they are on a map like this. Marcus coming in with an SS, Melva and GN holding very high 99s. Jokspie struggling a bit with accuracy, but he does have the combo, which is important. It's just trailing slightly behind for Austria, but they are keeping relatively close up with them at the halfway point. All it will take is just one break to switch this up.
Yeah, this is pretty much the KI where if you hold through this one as Norway, it's looking really good for you, but you have 2 misses back to back. Because you do have the combo advantage, but the combo only really kicks in at the last 20-30% of the map where you really skyrocket your score. And this is still something Austria can take advantage of you after these 2 misses. And another miss by Melver here on the Norwegian side.
Use Fedora, they will find a break. Neko Yese trying to bring up his point combo, but 3 breaks for Norway is not good. Farmis goes as well. That's going to hold a score gap right where it is. This is still very close. Quarter of the map left. Marcus goes down again. Trades with Farmist. Tomodoy and Jokspie holding the full combos, but Nekoyase there with a supporting combo. It's going to help them edge it out slowly away from Norway. And this might have been a very solid pick for Austria. Goose Fedora and Melva will trade. But that score bar, it's going closer and closer to Austria. It's about 30,000 points in this. Not a lot. But it might just be enough.
One break from Tomodoy can... oh no! Can mean the death of Austria, and it is!
It is! Pause, that was cruel.
I had to do it to him. I'm sorry. Think Austria's advancing on my watch? No way. I might be Austrian, but I might be an imposter as well.
It wasn't Norway that sent them home. It was OMG4s. Right here. With that, Austria, they were so close to getting a 3rd point on the board. But it just slipped away. A double break coming in. Will span the end of their OWC run as Norway advance in the losers bracket. Oh, that game was closer than I think a lot of people were expecting there.
Oh yeah, it was mostly just off the back of a lot of carry performances here and there from the Austrian side. Norway did perform on the picks as I think they wanted to, but generally Norway had a lot more to choose from, and they did take advantage of that, and here you see them advancing. Good luck next year for the Austrian team, and yeah, we'll be wishing Norway the best of luck in the future rounds.
Yeah, Norway will be back next week. They will not play again this weekend, but we still have quite a few teams who will. The next, of course, coming up, we have the United States versus Brazil. We do have a bit of time, of course, before that happens. That'll be 3 hours from now, so set your watches, get your alarms ready, because you definitely don't want to miss that one. Thank you once again, OG4s, for joining me.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
And thank you all for watching. We will see you again very shortly for USA versus Brazil. But until then, bye for now.
Goodbye.
It's a beautiful place.